All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back tonight after a few weeks off, and we're playing more Legendinthemist. But first, we're gonna have a long talk about his trip to Japan for the next hour because he's already told us about it 3 times before we got on stream. So this should be great. You should have it nice and polished and ready to go. So Long, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jeff. It's great to be back. Or is it really? Japan was amazing. You could definitely tell a difference when landing at the airport. I was at Seattle coming back, and it just the feeling of it is definitely different. But I spent some good time in Kyoto, Hakone Mountain area, and then Tokyo. Lots of walking, visiting shrines, temples, pretty much all the main tourist attractions you'd visit when going there. But I had a great time at my cousin's wedding. That's why I've been gone.
Nice. Awesome, man. And I heard something about a dick festival. You didn't attend that, right? That wasn't what you...
Yeah, I slipped the tongue. I said cock hour instead of cocktail hour for the wedding.
Yeah. So it's a no. Okay. That's fair.
No, the penis festival is down south. It's not in Kyoto.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Long hasn't been to the south, so that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
All right. Awesome. That's great, man. When are you going back? You going again?
I mean, probably end up there again. This is my 3rd time, so something will bring me back.
Right on. And Jeremy was gone. Jeremy, you went to Disney. How was Disney?
It was good. I'm glad I went with the kids. It's more for them than for me.
I love the high pitched good. It's good.
Yeah. Higher
So
like it was good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So like for the kids, they love Magic Kingdom. I found the story rides to be incredibly boring, and I'm not worth the wait. But Tron, oh my god, the Tron ride, so good. So there was that.
That's cool. Nice. Right on. All right. And then Kipser, Melissa, myself, we didn't leave. So we've just been here the whole time, so we don't have anything interesting to say. So I guess, yeah, the whole time we've been ready to go. So I guess let's just dive back in and we'll see how it goes. It's been a few weeks. This could be a little rocky for us, but we'll do our best. Last time around, so this is session 10, not counting session 0. So this is session 10. Last time around, we kind of had a split party. We had a couple people over at Snaggletooth's farm. We had a couple people in the town of Isvig. It was evening time, turning into night. And a bunch of elves, or a couple elves, pair of elves, came and visited your farm, Snaggletooth, where your parents had already, or your family had already showed up. And they were insisting on getting their share of the special weed that you grow for them, which was like the only crop that hadn't been infected by whatever the pestilence was that was roaming through the countryside, including your farm. So they hauled it away on these really large, weird-looking elk. But they were also very uninterested in answering any questions. Like they seemed a little bit detached and such. And then they took their stuff and they left. Back in Isvig, we saw that crowds started to gather near the docks and in the center of town because there was this big old ship, an actual proper ship, not just a boat that was coming down fjord, and made anchor and was kind of preparing to send people ashore. Your friend Poe was panicking because Kik had confronted him about the insignia that was on the sails of the ship and how it matched one of his amulets. And that's when he kind of revealed some things. He told you that it was a group called the Twilight Choir, which was some kind of religious order from the other parts of the continent that you are kind of disconnected from. Poe was apparently a member of this group, but there was some kind of schism that he referred to, and something about apocryphal teaching, something about a calamity, something about a cycle of making and unmaking, something about his mentor and other dissenters kind of scattering and going different places, something that involved the ancients, so the Turanok, as they're sometimes called, the people whose language you've been seeing popping up here and there on various omens and symbols. So these dissenters wanted to kind of study ruins and various texts of this old civilization, but the Twilight Choir said no, because it was like apocryphal to try to prevent the cycle from continuing from one civilization ending and the next beginning, etc. The Orthodox side was like chasing after the heretics, like excommunications, executions. And this is kind of why Poe eventually came to your place. And he went into hiding and he kind of revealed some of this in this sort of frenzied conversation he was having in the time it took the Twilight Choir to come off their ship. And he had been also studying the ruins throughout your region, because your region is known to have quite a few ruins. And he also was apparently somehow involved in maintaining this area's isolation, doing something. He didn't really get into too many details, but Aiden, Morgan's missing lover, he came up in conversation at one point too. So he had this kind of fear that the Twilight Hire was coming here because they're looking to destroy these ruins. They're looking perhaps for heretical priests, things like that. So he quickly packed up his things. He told you all to be careful, to watch what you say. Some cases, they might actually just know that and read that you're lying to them, especially this thing called a singer, this blessed singer, this creature that they have with them. And he told you to meet him in 5 days' time in a clearing north of the Ancient Henge, and then he left. And that's when the choir showed up. They were led by some man named John Denver, and Mayor Hild, your mayor, opened the proverbial doors to this group, and some people started talking. Lloyd, you actually got into a conversation briefly with the leader of this group of monks and friars and nuns and such, and you let slip, not that it would have been that hard for them to discover, that there was in fact a chapel in the town, which kind of took them by surprise, and they were very interested. And so Denvar asked to be led to this place instead of going and getting drinks where Morgan was waiting with a bunch of mugs. And that's kind of where we end, right as there was a little whistle, and this big old golem-like creature came out of their boat, wandered across town, and kind of pushed the door open into the chapel that you all have known as Poe's home this whole time. And so that is where we ended up. So let us jump right back there into that moment, resetting where everybody is currently. Lloyd, you're right there. You're right at the steps. You can hear the sounds of the wood kind of cracking a little bit as that large, almost crystalline-like golem steps, goes up the steps to the landing area and pushes the door open. Denvar is there, a handful of other folks from the choir, and also just your town folk are around you. Snaggletooth, you're in eyesight. You can certainly see it. I believe you and your fellow, your friendly teens, you all are kind of, I think it was you and Tovis and maybe others were maybe up in the rafters or something like that by Old Morths. And so you have a very clear eye line at this. There's lanterns all about, so the square is quite lit. Morgan, you're close enough as well. You are over in the tavern. Maybe you're standing out front because there's not a lot of interior because it got damaged. So there's a lot of long tables out in the square, and you can see all this happening. And Kick, you are off by yourself. You had returned to your smith under the impression that you might need to start making some weapons. So, scene opens up. We see the interior of Poe's House of the Two. We see that he has replaced all of the floorboards that he had once pulled up. We see the various mismatched chairs that he often sets up in rows like pews are scattered about haphazardly. A couple of the windows are shuttered, and the small kind of pulpit at the front is kind of back in its position. The shelves themselves that he has, there's a scattering of books and stuff on there, but not as many as before. And then the door flies open, and we see this big figure that is almost too big to walk into the door itself, walk through the doorway, but crouches down, kind of steps in, and looks a bit. And you see, Lloyd, since you're up front, there's this illumination on the head, on the eye, as if it's just looking carefully and scanning around a bit, and then turns back towards the group that's waiting out on the porch, including yourself, and steps back. And you see people start to file in. Lloyd, are you doing anything in this moment?
Yeah, I'll ask Denvar. What is this creation here? Is it more like this in Carolith?
Oh, this? Well, yes. And I think he has your name. I think someone called you Lloyd, Mr. Grover. Yes, this is, we call these creatures singers. Blessed singers, in fact. They are, well, they have been ordained and touched by the very word of the Maker. They are composed of holy crystals and glass. They see all that is true. But do not worry, they will not harm you. And he kind of leans a little closely. He's like, unless, of course, you are in some way worthy of study, worthy of... He looks really close. Investigation? But then he smiles and, like, slaps you on the... Like, drops his hand on your shoulder. And he gives you, like this kind of weird, unsteady grin. There's nothing to worry about, boy.
Well, there's a reception party at the bar, at the old tavern. I'm gonna head over there and hope you find what you're looking for here.
Oh, well, I was told that you were a friend of... What was your priest's, your friar's name again? It was, He's like waiting for you to fill it in.
Everyone calls him Poe around here. I don't know too much about him. I wouldn't say he was a friend.
Oh, well, I guess some of the others are mistaken then. Hey, that man right there. And he points over, and you just see this kind of like drunken dude like holding up a mug. He said you two were fast friends. Well, perhaps he is the one who I should be investigating then, if he is fibbing such.
See ya.
And so, Lloyd, you skirt off. And he like turns around, and those of you who can see this happening, like he turns around and just kind of watches Lloyd leave with sort of a curious look to him. But he leaves it, and he turns back around, and he moves up the steps, and he follows the singer inside. A couple of these other monks and friars and nuns and such follow him in as well. And then you can see like Mayor Hild and some of the others go inside. And since no one's inside, you don't necessarily know what happens. Morgan and Snaggletooth, are the two of you doing anything throughout this moment?
I thought they were coming this way. Where'd they get off to?
No. Might take just a moment to, like, before I go, maybe join Morgan with whatever she wants to do, just kind of turn to Tovis, like, so, I know everything there looks real interesting, but, like, just the look of that big old thing over there, I'm just gonna put this out there, like, obviously, like, be polite, speak when spoken to, but maybe, don't put yourselves too underfoot. You ever had that feeling, like, when a sibling's broken something, and it don't really matter who did the breaking, it's just the first person to draw the wrong kind of attention is going to have a hard time. Just, be polite, be good. Maybe don't go out of your way to be in their attention.
Well, you think I should be afraid of them, Snaggletooth? You think they're bad folk? Everyone
I'm not
seems...
saying that. It's a strange thing to me that they bring that big old thing into our city. And I'm not saying there's anything bad. I'm just saying, just maybe we'll be on our best behavior, not give them any reason to not think.
When am I not on my best behavior?
Well, you're always on your best behavior, but you're just so magnanimous normally. You're larger than life.
Mag what? Magnanimous?
Yep.
What? I don't think that's a word. All right, I'll be good. I won't do nothing.
No, I know you will be. I don't want to spend any more time around that big old thing than I need to. And I don't know. Maybe I'm worrying for nothing. I apologize. It's good seeing you. We'll catch up again soon.
Okay. And he kind of waits. So what do you do? Do you climb down from there?
Yeah.
Okay. And so maybe you catch sight of Lloyd hurrying back. We see Morgan out front, and so the three of you are in relative proximity to each other. Is there anything that you all would say to each other? Anything you all would look to do? There is a crowd around. There's plenty of folks and such. People are kind of looking in. Others like, what are they doing today? Where's Poe? Where's Poe? You know, folks like, you know, this kind of various scattered conversations here and there.
Guys, I met with the Denver fellow and his singer. I had to show him where Poe lived.
You had to, did you?
I mean, he'd find it eventually.
I mean, it ain't the biggest town in the world, and if one of us tries to claim, oh, I don't know where the church is, they're either going to think you're the town dullard or you're a liar.
Well, he did say be wary of lying around him, so I suppose that would be bad. But did you just left him poking around, Lloyd? What are they up to?
I didn't want to linger. That crystal thing was around.
That's fair.
But he might be on his way after here. He's going to be asking
he's
a bunch of questions.
And maybe we should kind of be amidst the crowd, ready to listen to the questions that they're asking. That's what Poe said, is to listen to what questions they ask. So much as I want to just skedaddle back home, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to be in the crowd. Do just that.
Yeah, but if he brings that creation around, I don't know if it should linger.
Well, we've got to get information somehow, and if we're already leaving him over there, I think we have... Snaggletooth's got the right of it. We've got to stay in the background and listen, and just... The thing that you've got to do is you've got to think of whatever you say is got to be mostly true. So that's the thing. That's what you got to, like... The best lie starts with something that's, like, kind of right on.
Then I might keep myself scarce when he comes by. He's already been looking into me a bit.
Well, you did just walk right up and introduce yourself, but I think you were right. They were going to figure it out eventually, so lying right off was going to raise more flags red on that hat of yours. She's going to kind of get on her tippy toes and see if they're if they're done, if they're coming back.
There's definitely a handful of folks outside, like looking inside. Looks like there's a group inside. You can't really see too much from where you're at this point. Okay. So we'll say a little while later, not very long, maybe 20 minutes, they come back out. Lloyd, did you say you wanted to make yourself scarce? You wanted to leave?
I kind of want to hide around the bar and not let him see me.
Okay. You just want to try to come, you don't want them to be able to see you. So give me a roll for this, just to try to be, just to blend in with the crowd. So anything that you think might apply in this situation.
Yeah, I'll make it.
It's nighttime.
This is home. And some acrobatic agility.
Yeah, and I'll give you the fact that it's crowded as just sort of a general tag for the moment. So you get another +1 for that. There's quite a few people who are interested.
So I'll roll with the 3 power.
Yeah, and we'll treat this like a tracked outcome, actually.
Got a mix.
Oh boy. Mixed hit. Okay, so you got 3 power to spend. You could just give yourself a status of being forgettable, or just blended in 3 or something like that. You can just do something like that if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
All right. Okay.
Maybe you take off that red hat of yours and you don't stick out quite as much.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You take it out. And he puts on a giant yellow hat. Okay. So they come out and you can see that it looks like this Denvar fellow and Marihild are fast friends. The two of them were just talking and laughing, etc. After the crowd of people come out, followed, you can see there's groups of these monks and nuns and such moving out. And then we see the singer comes out again, ducking under, and then moves off and away from where people are, and just much like it was doing inside the boat, it goes over to where the Longstone is, where that kind of ancient writing is on over by the Civic Hall, and it just kind of perches up down there, and then just becomes this frozen silhouette off to the side. There's a few folks that are like kind of looking at it, watching as it's, as it's passed, like big dumb idiots. But it seems to pay them no mind whatsoever. It doesn't like seem to affect them. It doesn't seem to talk to them or interact with them in any way. But the mayor and Denver come over, and the mayor says, "All right, everyone. This here is it's the first time we've had visitors from the outside for years. So it's time for celebration. So Morth, you make sure the good stuff." And you can see this old man in the back is like, "Okay, all right." And then he doesn't give them the good stuff. And she's like, she introduces some folks. You can see Denvar is like kind of giving, like shaking his hands, like you have a very beautiful, beautiful town. It's so nice, etc. All this kind of generic stuff. And then after a few moments, Mayor Hild speaks up and she says, "And now I've got some very, very serious questions that Mr. Denvar here would like to ask all of you. So no line amongst all of you. I mean, we're helpful people. I've told Mr. Denvar here that you are all helpful people, so you're all going to be helpful, right?" And everyone's like, "Arr." And so he steps forward. He's like, "Good people of Visvig, it is, thank you very much for your hospitality. You have been, it's a very warm welcome. We have been traveling for quite some time, and I can't say that we've had a warmer welcome in any place we've come across so far. And to see such smiling faces out here in the furthest provinces, it warms my heart, and I feel compelled to be direct with all of you. I would not want to upset anyone here. But my order and we are on a holy mission, you see. I will not bore you with the specifics of it all, but as part of his mission is to identify heretics, those who would seek to undermine our order and who are known to be, ne'er-do-wells, I suppose, criminals in the worst. I've been told by your mayor here that many of you are familiar with a Father Poe, and that he seems to occupy the establishment over here, this House of the Two, this chapel, and that for some time he has served as some sort of spiritual leader for the town itself. Yet, it is quite curious, it seems, that he has departed so quickly. We have not had the opportunity to meet him. So if any of you happen to know where this Father Poe might reside, might have gone else other than his home and his chapel, please, you can speak with me or any of my constituents, or excuse me, my colleagues here. And he kind of gestures to the various monks. But we don't mean to suggest that Father Poe is one of these. It's just we would like to have a conversation. We've had situations in the past whenever we've come to these distant provinces where someone has taken advantage of the goodwill of the kind people. We want to ensure that he is not one of them." And you hear people like shout out, like, "Oh no, he's fine. No, he's a right piece of shit, he is, really. He's cranky old lot, he is. Yeah, he's not so bad. He's fine. He drinks a lot. He sleeps a lot. He cusses a lot. I don't really think he might be a priest after all then. Those are all things you're not supposed to do as a holy man." And so this kind of starts shouting back and forth. What are you guys doing amidst all of that?
I would say probably kind of joining in with that, like, "Oh, he's just cranky and he keeps his secrets. I don't know that he'd be sharing his innermost with us."
Oh, secrets. One moment. You, young woman. There. And you hear the sounds of like Mayor Hild's voice call out, "Hi, Morgan, come on. Like waves you up at this point. And everyone continues talking. Secrets, you said.
And she's
you have
gonna
reason to believe that this Father Poe has secrets?
act drunker than she is at this point. Like she really hasn't had that much, but she's gonna act a bit sloshy. I'm just kind of a man that you try to ask him a question about himself and he just doesn't answer it. So he's not, as been said, he's grumpy and cranky and not an open book that just tells you everything about all the little things about himself. So just saying he's not necessarily gonna share his whereabouts with us.
That's quite, well, I must say that's quite alarming. It does not sound like the demeanor that the Twilight Choir would expect to find in those who seem to represent our order, even in a parochial sense. We pride ourselves on openness, ensuring there is no such thing as secrecy across our order, and that this figure seems to have conveyed the opposite of what our outward personas tend to be.
Did he have a sign up or something that said he was with the Twilight Choir? I don't remember him being a representative of...
Oh, well. And then he kind of reaches into his like, what's it called? His little bag here. And he pulls out like one of the books that Poe has, and it's just the cycle of making and unmaking. And it's not like an apocryphal text, it's just a standard text and stuff like that. But he opens it up, and you can see on the interior of the page, printed, is an insignia of the Twilight Choir. This here is, there are many copies of the cycle of making and unmaking, of course, but this insignia suggests that it was once in the ownership of a member of our order. So unless you're implying that he has stolen it from one of our order, it seems as though he might be a long-lost brother of ours.
Oh, I was just, it's like you hang a sign outside and you say which like denomination you're from, and I didn't remember he was representing some group, as it were. We just thought he was a, holy man and whatnot.
That's a very fair point. Very Miss
Morgan. Hey, I've got a question for you. So have you,
well, of course.
You were in your boat and on your way over here, you happened upon a lad of a late 20s, as it were, and he's got a bit of a mop of curly, sun-bleached hair and probably a bit suntanned at this point. And she'll sort of go into sort of a description of Aiden, because this will be very...
The mayor leans over and kind of whispers loud enough for you can hear.
It's actually her missing well, one of her. They were betrothed, perhaps. There's a long story, but he hasn't.
One of a what? One and only. What he was trying to say, Mayor? It's just there was only one, and it was just him.
I haven't been saying anything. What? Oh, I see. This is very. No, we have not seen nor encountered such an individual. But should we will certainly direct him back here. I'm sure he's just lost.
Well, it's been a bit of, I know he's lost, which is what I already knew, but you're the first people that we've seen in a bit, and I thought maybe you might have run across him. It's not that large of a sea out there, and I was just hoping.
Oh, it's actually quite large. No one's been to the other side of it.
Well,
I'm sorry, I am...
A gal can hope, I suppose, and so she's just gonna like take on this. Not that she isn't sad, but like overly sad now. Of like, fine.
Give me a roll.
Dash a girl's hopes.
That encompasses like this display. Like effectively, I'm doing a roll. You're doing a roll to not draw suspicion. So like whatever you think that might be. you go right ahead. And I will tell you that there is a tag working against you that he has at his disposal.
Sure.
So you have -1.
This is interesting. Because like weeping inside is technically a weakness for my jovial disposition. Which is weird because like this is literally what I'm tying into is this piece. Yikes. I don't actually know that I have any tags that apply to this because like
I would give you you could use that as a tag. I would say we won't treat it like a weakness, like the benefit
and I won't
you
count
get
it
for weakness,
towards
but if you want
any
to tap it. Yeah,
Perfect.
I think if you
I
want
like
to tap
that.
into it, I think it makes sense in this case. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is definitely a big part of her. So yeah, I'll roll it straight with that 1 for weeping inside because that's definitely what she's drawing on. Like, I'm hoping for the no lies detected here because she genuinely was hoping for word of him.
Okay.
So I rolled. So that is a 10.
A 10. Okay, 10. That's great. It's perfect. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, he says, well, I'm sorry. I did not mean to drag up old memories. Perhaps in the morning we could talk again. When minds are fresh, the sun has risen. Thank you for speaking with me, Miss Morgan. And then he'll try to diplomatically remove himself from the conversation.
Well, thank you.
And,
I suppose. And she'll
you overhear. You overhear Mayor. She's been a drunken fool ever since he left. It's just been. It's quite sad, you know. Well, I'm surprised that this Father Poe did not do a better job of leading her to some sort of moment of healing. And then you hear that conversation fade out as they drift away. Let's cut from there for a moment and let's check in on Kick, who last we saw Kick, she had kind of removed herself from the various things that are happening around the city square, kind of headed back to her you have like that mobile smith and like your wagon, right?
Yes.
So what are you up to these days? Like, or this time of night, sorry, I should say. Like, it's pretty late, but you know that there's stuff going down. Like, what do you think you're up to?
I have a question a little bit. The sort of the Highlander people, would the Twilight Twilight Choir have been a part of their culture as well, or is this this is a Lowlander thing?
Yeah, so the way I'm playing it is that the Maker and the Unmaker is just sort of like the universally understood deity. The Twilight Choir is like a specific order, right? A dominant one, but a specific one. But you're where you live, where you all are, like you're like a distant province, well away from. So like it's not really reached out here.
So
it's possible people could have heard of it, but unlikely they would have been part of it.
Probably would have had our own versions of the Maker and the Unmaker. I just wanted to know how much to play in there, but I really think we've been attacked a few times here and the world's getting a bit dangerous. I'm not good at weapons, but mostly farm equipment, mining equipment, patch jobs. I think we need something stabby. I know there's a tempering process that's different for weapons because they got to be able to hit on other weapons, but I've never done it myself. I've only read it or heard a little bit from my mentor about how to do it. But it's time to try.
Okay. So you just want to basically begin the process of trying to piece together something more weapon-like than the tools that you've been doing so far?
Yes. I should probably start with like a short sword, like something that's smaller but is of a double-bladed purpose.
Sure. So in the game, like crafting is actually treated in some ways like a journey. So journey is sort of like an abstract term that just talks about something that takes a series of steps to progress towards completion. And then over the course of that journey, you often have to face like a series of little vignettes that sometimes have consequences and things that could trigger from it. So you're trying to do like a short sword, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And
so I'm gonna treat this.
Kek, I did give her the weakness specialized weapons. So just because I figured she's never made a weapon that it would she would be bad at it at the beginning. But yes, a journey
Okay.
sounds great.
Okay. So we'll say, I'm going to say since this is the first time that you've worked on it, you probably have your own surplus of materials nearby, right? You also haven't been working the past couple of days. So there might be things that you were supposed to do for someone randomly in the village that you haven't done. And so you still have all this, like the raw materials there. So really you're just looking to kind of put in the work. So it's late at night. We're not super late. It's like just after sundown. You're off on your own. There's no immediate distractions. And so you're really just trying to put in the work. Put together a pool for just this beginning work process.
Blacksmithing, my own forge. I'm going to take specialized weapons as a weakness on this roll. And then I think I will grab strong as an ox for this as well.
Okay.
Just because of the nature of the work. I always forget there's a middle thing. Skip. There we go. 13 with 2 power.
Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so we don't have to. These are just quick outcomes, effectively. I don't think we need to spend power since it's going to be sort of a step-by-step process. But with, I'll say with put in the work, or even actually no, let's let you have attract outcomes because you can maybe spend those 2 points to kind of give you like a focused status or something like that if you wanted to buy that for yourself, and just use that maybe on your next task, So a journey basically means that there's a series of little vignettes, things that happen. So right now, it's the first one's like the put in the work thing. But over the course of like the hours or the days it might take you to craft something, you might have other things pop up into play. So we just kind of fade out and move back a bit. And we just hear the sounds of, the various tinking, shaping. We hear the sounds of your work. Hours pass, perhaps. And then, you have this kind of raw material that you then convert to something that is a sort of a rough draft of this short sword. It's not particularly honed or sharpened just yet, but you see the shape, or at least the blade part of it. And so you kind of pull that out, set that off to the side, and you let it, let it kind of cool as it needs to cool, and then you kind of turn your attention maybe to sort of crafting some kind of hilt. And I'll say it's around this time where you hear this like thunder in the sky overhead, and you look up, and while it's not raining, you can see off to the north where your people are, like the mountain folk. You can see lightning over the low mountains, and with each crack of lightning, you just see the entire fjord, the water itself just kind of glow. And at one point, you see a boat. Off in the distance, illuminated. There's a and now that like the lightning fades, you can see a little glow of like a lantern or something on like probably the front of the boat itself, and you see it slowly moving away from you, away from Isvig, kind of to the northern side, the other side of the fjord from where Isvig sits. You can't quite make out who or how many are in it, but definitely more than one person.
Oh,
because you see a few shapes and silhouettes and such moving off. What does Kick do anything with that?
I don't like that. Look at that kind of stuff. Does she? She kind of like comes out of probably a number of hours of work, just like blinking. Does she? How late in the night is it, or is it early morning, or like? What time does it appear to be?
I'll say it's not. It's probably from the time in which we've seen them arrive. They like the choir arrived at basically sunset. They made it to the town as darkness grew. You left at that point, and then it's only a handful of minutes to walk to where you work, and then you've been working straight off since then. So maybe like 2 hours since then. So we're like maybe middle of the night, not quite midnight yet.
Okay, and they went north, you're saying. All right, she'll take a break. I know they're all at the inn, if it's still going, if there's still a party happening. Lloyd tends to be sneaky enough. I bet he'll notice a knock if I make it. So she's going to go to the pub and kind of like see if she can catch the red cap through the window. She doesn't know Lloyd took it off, but she's looking for Lloyd.
Okay. So you come back to town, to the center of town, and definitely merriment is still going on. You hear the sounds of voice, song, stuff like that. You catch sight maybe of like a handful of folk, maybe one or two folk relieving themselves in an alley or something like that. Would you try to like look over or from behind one of the buildings to get a better look at the area out front of Morth's Tavern? And you're looking around. Give me a roll, and blended 3 status will be working against you, so you're gonna have a -3 on this since Lloyd actually.
That's right.
Yeah. I might have to straight roll it. I don't really have anything for finding people other than.
Well, don't forget, you could also
teammate
tap
stuff.
into. Let's see.
I
just checking to see. You can also tap into like teammates. Yep.
Stone Pass.
And if you have any,
champs.
I don't think Stone Pass Champ works, but teammates, I will say, like you would know what he looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tap it.
Oh, I'm gonna roll this pretty much just here. Should I put -2 on my roll then?
Yeah. So just roll the -2. Let's see if you can see him.
I still need to fix. I thought I fixed that last time. Nope. I had no idea where he is.
Okay. Yeah. You're looking around. Cannot see him. He's too well hidden. But there you are, watching all this kind of go down.
Yeah.
So now you're on the edge. Like you can hear the sounds of merriment and stuff. It's been going on for a couple hours. You're sweating from all the work you've done. The thunder is happening overhead, but again, no real rain. And then we'll cut back into like the tavern area. It's been a few hours now, and it's everyone but the 3 of you that are inside the tavern. This has been cool. Like this has been a really fun, like they're asking questions. You're hearing various like monks and friars and such who are like telling stories about their travels, like various things they saw, ports along the eastern coast, places that maybe you've heard of or didn't hear of. Some of them are telling stories about like their kind of capital city, like Kerleth, and like various, like what the difference is between like the town here and some of the other towns they've passed along the way. So you got all these like different stories that are happening. And then like the fisher folk and such are telling stories. And every now and then your ears pick up and you hear someone kind of mention the big fish, that was caught, those, crazed things that have happening here and there, the fire that happened on First Fall, stuff like that. So these things are popping up, and you can tell that your populace is just spilling the tea without like any second thought. So have any of you been doing anything in particular over the course of this evening?
I would say that Morgan would take advantage of drinking buddies. So I'm saying I would like to say that maybe someone that she knows was someone who she saw hanging around Poe's when they went in. So she wants to try to strike up a conversation with somebody to kind of see like what they were talking about there when we didn't have kind of eyes or ears on them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Give a roll. Do you give put together your drinking buddy roll and see what they say? Let's see if this is mainly to see, almost like a luck check to see if one of them happened to have gone inside. So that's kind of how we're going to treat it.
And so would jovial disposition come into play? Because I'm being friendly with somebody? So. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got, +2. 12.
Okay. So one of your friends from your fisher folk crew, they're a little, they're 3 sheets to the wind at this point. They're like,
I didn't really go inside, but I was rolled outside. I was looking in, I heard, and they were talking about all sorts of things. They were very asking all sorts of questions about Poe and where he went. Why a man of faith would rush off at the first sign of. I found it sort of curious. Now that I say it out loud, I find it kind of curious too. But I guess you would know better than me, being his best friend and all. And they were that big thing, the golem thing, the singer. They said,
what was it doing?
It was looking at stuff. You would wander over by the shelves and it would kind of glow a bit, like a glowworm or something. And then it would wander over the different shelf and it would glow over there. And then it was, at one point it just sort of squatted down right there in the middle of the room. And it was just glowing itself right down on the floor, like it was looking at the floor, like it was trying to look through the floor.
Was it taking a shit?
Doing this over.
You said it squatted in the middle of the floor.
I don't think a blessed creature would take a shit inside of a church, but maybe that's just how they do it in the big city. I don't know. But no, I didn't say no shit.
Okay.
Not
But it was glowing.
Yeah. But the big guy, the fella, the one in charge, he kept kind of talking to it, asking what it sees, hidden stuff.
Does it talk back?
Big thing. It just sort of like shook its head. Didn't really say nothing.
It can answer questions.
I think so. I mean, it was doing what it was told. And, I don't know. Didn't you tell a story about a big rock monster once over by the henge? Why are you so surprised that there's other rock monsters all over the place?
Well, I mean, if it's one that can answer questions and looks for things and glows, that's
Didn't you get a barnacle the size of a cow the other day too? Didn't you see that giant fish that came up out the water?
Well, yes, I'm not disagreeing with you that there's been a series of interesting events that have been going on. Which were they? Did they take anything? Did they find anything?
I think it took one of his books. They found one of his books really interesting. I don't know. I never found a book interesting, but they found it really interesting.
Was it the book that he was showing me? With the.
Oh, I don't know what book he was showing you, but I guess it was the same one.
He was just standing right over there, and he was lecturing me about how I should have known.
I wasn't standing there with you, was I? I was standing somewhere else. I might have been sitting down.
Have another drink.
All right. Takes it, and he's like, I thought we were getting the good stuff. And then Mort's like, shh.
You know he's never going to go for the good stuff. It's just, Mayor just puts it on for show.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions you ask him?
No, I think she'll just make a mental note that they were, because I'm guessing that the glowing happened right around the place that he had dug up in the middle of the room and then tried to put everything back, but it still sensed whatever it was. And so she'll wonder if they might try to go back when they don't have half of the town watching them.
Okay. Fantastic. Snaggletooth, you been up to anything?
I think despite the situation, he kind of can't help but enjoy the good vibe of people listening to stories. And, he can't help but when if one of these friars is talking about some far off place, he'll just kind of sit there and actually genuinely show interest and listen. And
you hear,
maybe against his better senses, ask if they have Beaverkin where they're from too.
So yeah, you sit down next to this monk and this nun, and they're kind of talking. You can see one of them's got one of those tonsure type haircuts and everything, and they're just kind of talking. And to a couple folks, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we've seen Beaverkin before, mostly down south. More really, we don't really see them as far north as you folk. This is fairly north. The ice isn't that far from here, after all. But we've seen them before. Quite industrious, your people.
We're hard
building
workers.
this, building that. Yeah, hard workers. That's true. We ran into a little group of them about 4 or 5 months ago. And, they were friendly folk, but they had been causing a bit of trouble with sort of a local parish. They were kind of redirecting some of the waterways a bit, so we had to have a little talk with them. They were perfectly fine. They kind of did what they were supposed to do. Never really had any trouble with them whatsoever. Not very godly folk.
Well,
really.
I'll admit that's part of why I asked. It's I feel like my family, we're real good at being good to people, but I heard the important man there talk about heretics, and I got kind of worried because, like, we're real good people, but we're not real churchly people. That don't make us like heretics, does it? Like, we're good.
No. And I say this with the utmost respect, Mister
Snaggletooth.
Snaggletooth. Yeah, so I say this with the utmost respect. Please don't take any offense to this, but it sounds more like you and maybe your folk, your kin, really just ignorant. That's all, and that's not a crime in and of itself, of course. It just means you haven't been learned, and that's part of what we're doing here. We're moving around the provinces, making sure we reach out to some of these distant locales that really haven't been properly introduced to the choir songs, and bring them into the fold, really, asking some questions here and there, and that sort of thing. No. A heretic is, mainly those are the folk that kind of looks around, that should know better, and folks that, they just are out to make trouble, is all. You don't like making trouble there, do you, Mr. Snaggletooth?
Well, I mean, I don't like to talk down myself, but I can promise you I'm not smart enough to know better. But I do try to do good.
No, you see, that's exactly right. These are the type of folks that, they don't want to do good. They want to do bad. That's what they want to do. And they just come into a place where everything's working perfectly fine, and then they've got they just want to make it worse, is all it is, folks who take the Maker's name in vain, folks who deny the teachings of the cycle, all these sorts of things. It's one thing not to understand them, it's another thing to understand them and to reject them. Yeah. That's what we call a heretic. That's not you, is it, Mr. Snaggletooth?
Oh, goodness, no, I don't like the sound of that. I don't think... That'd make me real sad if somebody knew something was wrong and they chose to do it anyways. I mean, I made mistakes. Plenty of them, but,
Sure.
not because I want to.
And your friend, Mr. Poe, he's not one of those, is he?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, he's always been real friendly to me. I mean, everybody in this town's my friend. I mean, there's a couple people who can be a little nasty. Some people, when they get drinking them, they say mean words. And Mr. Poe, he's the sort that sometimes he'd say a curse word, but then it'd just pass like a stiff breeze or something, right? And he just, I don't know. I never felt anything unkind from him at all.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a good priest or not, but I wouldn't call him a bad man.
Well, I'm sure with that sort of reference, it's probably all just a misunderstanding is all. Do you have any idea why a man like that, a good man, a man who likes his drink, who likes a good time, just suddenly up and disappear in the middle of the night? Man living in a town that hasn't seen visitors in several years, and just suddenly leave, just like that?
And I gotta say, that's one of those things where start getting into where I feel, what was the word you said again? Ignorant?
Yeah, ignorant, yes, yeah.
I hate being ignorant, but I'm afraid you might not be all wrong. And I'm real sorry about that.
It's all right there, Mr. Snaggletooth. I'm sure your heart's in the right place.
And I want you to make a roll, actually.
Okay.
So all of you have had various interactions here and there.
Yeah.
And really what you're rolling for is to avoid having suspicion cast on you.
Okay.
In this case.
So I think he's trying to show genuine care and whatnot. So I'll try and go with maybe trying to spin Heart of Gold, and I don't know if I could do help those in need because he's trying to spin it to sound like Poe is just some dude, not really anything of that much important. But those are I think that's kind of stretching those two just to get that.
Yeah, I think you're okay. And I think because you're not talking to the head guy, I'm not going to have the negative work against you here.
All right. Okay. That'd be 6 + 2 gets me to an 8. So mixed success.
Mixed success. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say with a mixed success, I'm just going to make it a narrative consequence.
Like maybe I mentioned that
Okay.
he came out and helped at the farm or something. Like I give a little bit more information that I should just because I'm being friendly
I like
or
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you let slip like, an innocent secret, or not an innocent secret, just an innocent piece of information that really probably doesn't mean anything to you, but maybe
Mhm.
like he kind of picks up on it in some ways. Maybe it's like something like you guys used to travel. They're like, oh yeah, we used to like go on hikes and such together or something like that. I used to kind of take us around, kind of look at some of the sites and things. And
Sites. Oh, it's very interesting. Yeah, I've heard that there are some very interesting sites, very old sites around here, ancient sites and such. So, I'll be very keen on seeing some of those. Yes. It's a shame your Mr. Poe isn't around to help guide us to them. That wouldn't be something you could do there, would it, Mr. Snaggletooth?
I mean, I can try and show you about a little bit. I ain't nothing too fancy, but I mean, ain't no reason not to be friendly.
Yeah. It's an excellent point. That's a very good life motto. There's no reason not to be friendly. Yes.
I made a motto.
Yes.
I like that. You can
Well,
you can
we
use
all
that.
have-
I'll allow it.
Well, can I? Well, that's very kind of you. I will share it around. Next port of call, I'll make sure the word of Snaggletooth is disseminated. Not too much. We wouldn't want it to be called apocryphal or anything.
No, of course
I'm
not.
just kidding.
It's real nice to have met you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too, Mr. Snaggletooth. Nice to meet you too.
all right, so we kind of fade out of that conversation. I'll say the night continues. If there's anything anyone wants to do, say so. Otherwise, we could say the night passes. If there's nothing more, and it just kind of continues in this manner with a series of conversations. If anybody wanted to do something, though, call it out, and we can take care of it.
I can't see
Well-
Lloyd. I might go
Mm.
towards the water to take a look myself and see if I can't spot and follow a little bit more of it, the boat,
Okay.
by myself.
Okay. So you head over by yourself to the shore. You start drifting a little bit like westward, not like far away from town, but like just a little bit more inland, basically. Put together. Do you have any kind of pool you can put together for like to look, to observe, anything like that?
Not really for this environment. I'm good with the mountains. I can do rocks, but this is not rocks. I'd probably be doing a straight roll.
Okay. Do a straight roll, and even if you fail, it's fine. Like there's still some things I think you would get. It's just a sort of a tiered amount.
I swear I turned. Oh, nope. No, there's nothing I would get. Absolutely nothing.
No.
I got a
like
3.
there's stuff you would get.
Okay.
I would say that the two things I would give you without giving away too much specificity, there are more boats on the water than you're accustomed to seeing. So there's that, because there's always like a handful of boats on the water, some moored, some not.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely more. And then the second thing you see is far to the west. Like it's dark. Everything's very dark. There's lightning and thunder, etc. And somewhere like kind of up in the mountains, that whenever you watch the sun set, it goes down between the crags and the peaks of the Einervon Mountains, like off to the west, and you can kind of see like there's like a something glowing up there, almost like a beacon of some kind that's sort of lit up there. It's barely visible. It almost looks like a star for a second, and that's probably all you would see.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna wait. She's gonna wait to the morning for when her friends are a little bit more spread out again. Go back to her smithy and keep either working or resting.
Okay. So then, if no one else has anything they want to do, Lloyd, are you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, we'll say then the night continues and drinks are had, conversations are had, no one gets killed or disappeared or burnt at the stake or anything like that. And you all retreat to your various abodes. I'm assuming it's not that far of a walk back towards Snaggletooth's home. I think we've established it's a fairly quick walk. So if you wanted to head back to your house, you could. Lloyd, obviously you live in town. Kick, you have your wagon, and Morgan, I don't know where the hell you sleep. You sleep in a
Under
boat
the
or something?
bar.
What is it you do?
So Morgan sleeps usually on the beach. But I would say that she wants to position herself to keep an eye on Poe's overnight. So we can roll to see if she ends up falling asleep, but she kind of wants to keep watch a little bit.
No roll really necessary here. What I'll tell you is it does seem as though it is a place that they begin to occupy. So you can see a few of the monks, the nuns, they kind of hang out there, and that's really it. They don't do anything weird or untoward. They don't set it on fire, but like they definitely go inside and kind of seem to make it like a base of operations for them on the shore.
Oh, right. I want to do something dumb.
Do you? I just changed the music to something nice and sweet in morning time. But let me switch it back 1 second. Let me get it back.
Sorry.
I am in town. I am in town.
Like nice. I think she would be nosy with them like taking over this place and would want to like see if she can wander around, because again, she doesn't like have a house that she sleeps. She does sleep on the beach, and so she is out and about a lot. So she would want to be kind of like pacing around and seeing what they're doing and seeing if she can hear anything. So I do think that's something that she would do.
Okay. Put together a pool as there is, and it's going to be a tracked outcome, and we're going to keep an eye on the power, as there are various questions you might be able to ask based on this. And so this will just see that this is an all-purpose surveillance role, so to speak.
Okay. So from a... would like to say maybe at first I enlist one of my drinking buddies to just walk with me. And
okay.
On the surface.
Where are we going? What's going on? What do you want from me?
You know, I'm just need someone to listen to me tell some stories about Aiden. I just brought it all up again. And
a dozen times, I'm not interested, Morgan. I'm sorry that you're lonely, but I'm just not that into you.
I know, and I'm not into you either. I just need an ear. Can you just stop your talking and just drunkenly just walk with me while I just bend your ear a bit about my sweet, lovely Aiden?
Fun. Oh, can't wait to hear about sweet, lovely Aiden.
Just such a... So I'm going to go drinking buddies and jovial disposition. Will kind of be...
Okay. Okay. I like how you're using that for your surveillance role. Okay, yeah. All right.
I'm doing what I can.
Okay.
Oh. Poop. I rolled snake eyes.
You roll snake eyes. Okay.
Worse than me, and I rolled a 4 and a 3.
Okay. So at one point, you two are wandering past the window of the House of Two, of Poe's chapel, and the window is open at this point. And Poe has been keeping it closed. He's been very shuttered in lately, and even in his real, normal life, he would do that. He was very closed off. But the shutters are open, and you go past, and you can see that they have established like a series of like tables or desks or things like that, like stuff kind of smushed into the middle, and they are like unfurling what looks like maps. Like they have these like maps that they're just unfurling in the middle of the table itself, and you can't quite see what's on them, but there are large maps, and you can see they've got a couple lanterns and stuff to keep the corners down. And you see a few of the familiar men and women that you saw in the tavern, and maybe you linger just a little too long, or maybe your friend is just like, "What are we doing here? What's going on in there?" And then right in the middle of the window, you suddenly see the face of Oren Denvar, the head of this contingent, who is standing in the middle of the window and is looking out at you, and has a very curious look on his face. And he says to you with a, kind of a You're not sure if it's malicious or if it's friendly, but he's just like, "Well, I beg your pardon. Have a very good evening, Miss Morgan." And then closes the shutter. And you can give yourself the tag under suspicion. Okay.
Yep. I feel like that's what she would do. So thank you for indulging my
Absolutely.
making a mess of things.
Okay.
Rank 1?
All right. It's a tag.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yep. Okay. And so then we'll say the night continues on. You find a place on the beach to sleep because that's just what you do. Morning will come. Snaggletooth, did you go back home
Yeah.
to your farm and everything? Okay. We'll say morning comes. We see Kick waking up at her forge. We see Morgan waking up in the beach. We see Snaggletooth waking up amidst his family back at his farm. And Lloyd, where do we find you?
Find me a melody. I'll go to my uncle's first. Because I think Poe wanted me to talk to him because he had information.
Okay. So maybe when you got back last night, he was asleep. But morning wakes up. We see the two of you up. He's still kind of recovering, obviously, from his injury from first fall. But maybe there's like a little breakfast scene with the two of you. And he sees you and he's like,
So what was all that about? All that celebration and hubbub?
It's the first time we've had visitors in a while. Have they come around before?
We used to get visitors more frequently years ago. A ship here, trader there. I even made a trip across the mountains to the trading post as well. But those were when I was a younger man.
They seem interested in a Poe. They call him a heretic.
Poe? A heretic? Huh. Well, I don't know anything about that, but I know that Poe is a bit of a... Well, he's a bad egg, Lloyd. Tried to tell you this. Tried to look out for you. After your parents. Sure to keep you out of trouble. You go poking around in some stranger's business. Best you just leave it alone. Get back into the candle shop and do your work.
They're becoming a bit curious. I mean, the whole town knows we're familiar with each other. In this Twilight Choir, they call them. They might be looking into us.
All the more reason for you to just come back to the shop. I can't get around like I needed to, and you need to pick up the slack in the time in which I am recuperating. And all the more reason for you to keep your nose out of other people's business. Stay here, do the work. Your mother and your father would not want to see you getting tied up in this sort of business.
Is there... You know him a while, right? I'm sure he came in while you're still living here. Is there something you could tell me about him?
And what do I know that you don't? You know him better than I. I've had the good sense to keep my distance from him. He's an ornery fellow. Never has a good attitude. Always mean all the time. Aren't you one of his little friends? Don't you know everything there is to know about the man?
There's been a lot on his mind recently. It's got me worrying.
Worried? What are you worried about?
There's some sort of calamity going on.
Calamity? The only calamity, and he holds his leg out, is that I can barely move around and I've got a nephew that can't keep his head on his shoulders and won't help his poor uncle out. That's the calamity. The only calamity is that my most expensive candle's gone missing. The only calamity is now I got you talking all fanciful stories instead of working in the shop like you're supposed to.
I suppose I could help you well there. We got these folks in town. I did tell them they could come by.
Well, did you now?
He thinks about it for a second.
As customers?
Of course. What else would it be?
Well, you said that they were poking around and asking questions.
I'm sure they'll have the questions, but I directed them here if they wanted candles.
They're on a ship for quite some time. I'm sure they probably need some supplies. Well, this is the first smart thing you've done in quite some time, Lloyd Grover. Well done, sir.
Let me help you out here. I'm sure they want a bunch.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And our stock is running low since first of all. And you go off gallivanting down to Tor Hollow rather than staying around with your poor injured uncle and making sure we resupply. And so now we have to do it all today. You want to take over? Got a lot to learn about being a candlemaker.
All right, then. Put me to work.
And he does. You're just spending the whole day working. Okay. Fantastic. And so we see like this little montage of Lloyd making candles, working, setting out like various casks of like the different shapes and sizes and things, mixing different scents into some of the waxes and such, measuring out the proper length of wicks, and putting that all together. And so for once, Lloyd is being a candlemaker. He's doing his job. Okay. What about Kick? Let's check in with Kick. Does Kick get back to work, or does Kick go and do anything else?
She is going to, because there were more boats in the water, and she knows Morgan will be in town where Snaggletooth will be further away. And she like peeks maybe in at the candle shop and sees Lloyd actually working for once. Amazing. So she'll go and find Morgan. And then she'll get back to work herself.
Okay, so you wake up Morgan on the beach. And what do you two do before you head back to work?
And Morgan, time to wake up. Yeah, it's a good, at least 7 in the morning. Hi, time to get up. And she'll just reach down and grab you by the arm and shoulder and pull you up to standing.
How many times do I tell you I've got to stretch the bones before you just go picking me up like that?
You standing
just because I'm smaller than you doesn't make it appropriate to do that.
It's quite fun, actually.
I'm sure you do.
It's not something I get to do in real life.
Right. So she'll just look around the beach and make sure that we're kind of the only ones there. So I tried to go poking around a little bit and just be chatting with my mates and walked by old Pose because they seem to have just moved in like they own the place, and unfortunately caught the eye of the big one and got a shutter closed in my face.
You're not all right. You're not the most discreet person, Morgan. You got to know that, right?
Well, isn't there the saying? Sometimes you just hide things in plain sight, and you can't see the thing right in front of your face.
Plain sight, and then there's you.
I mean, I've got one gear. It's not really another way that I do things.
Right. Well, listen here. If you get in trouble, come to the forge, and I'll do my best to hide you, or whatever. Their Twilight Order isn't part of the Highland culture, so it's something different. But listen here, and she'll point out at the water. There's more boats, no?
Aye.
And you see, way up there in that mountain up north. You can't see it now, but at nighttime, there was a tiny shimmer up there. And at nighttime, I saw a bunch of people, I couldn't tell the number, but more than one. It was a big enough boat that they wouldn't have been able to sail by themselves. And they went north up the stream as well. There's a bunch of funky things going around on the water. I tried to poke my head in to see if Lloyd was around because he's quite sneaky. I know you wouldn't understand sneaky, but it's water stuff now. So you're in town, and maybe you can look into the boat aspect. That's not really my preview.
I mean, it feels like a light on a mountain is totally your purview, but I suppose I can add that to my water purview as well.
Well, no, the mountain, yes, but I imagine we're not going to be able to do anything about the light on the mountain until we actually head up to the mountains. And she'll kind of like look discreetly around. Anyway, ignoring that.
So you're saying that there were ships coming in because we've got more ships here than we did yesterday, but there's also ships going back out again.
Not necessarily. Well, hold on. I don't know how much I know about boats. I think that's too much boat knowledge for me. Yes. My answer is yes.
You can't tell which
ships.
direction a boat is going. That's too complicated for you. You can't tell if it was going into the harbor or out of the harbor.
Full-on ship. but I feel like that argument isn't something that I should have. It's my character.
I wasn't trying to get semantics of ship versus boat versus skiff. I was just trying to say where they.
Boat.
That wasn't what I was asking. You got to let me wake up a little bit before we have these conversations. My word.
I know. Maybe we'll get a bit of drinking you, and that'll get you going in the morning. Where's your alcohol then? My plan for today, I think, is to try to see if I can grab the fishing boat and take it out and take a closer look at some of these boats that have been coming in. Aye. All right. Well, look, I'm trying to experiment with making actual weapons for the first time, so I'll be working on that all day. If you see Snaggletooth or Lloyd, Lloyd's actually working in his uncle's shop, like full-on working today. But if you see him around, let him know the same information that I told you. Would you?
I see what you're doing. You're just making sure you don't have to talk to anybody. You're leaving all the hard work up to us, trying to fit in and hear things and ask questions. And you're just like, no, I'm just going to be on my forge and I'm just going to make the weapons and I just don't have to put a target on my back.
Aye.
Yeah, that's kind of smart.
Aye. I thought so. But yeah, if you need a place to crash or hide, maybe it's best, and she'll like look at the beach. Maybe it's best if you don't sleep on out in the open for a little bit until they're gone. That's
just where I sleep. I would tell you where you should lay your head at. But yes, no, that's a fair point. Can I go out on the water now?
Aye. I'll head off and you can do your own thing. It's bright and early. Look at the sun's just rising over the mountains. So just bright new day. Time to get up. Do you want to do a few runs and reps with me before you head out in the water?
No, but I know you never take no for an answer, so just let me stretch for a second.
We'll just run to the end of the beach and then back, and the first one that gets back is a knot in a rotten egg.
Oh, right. And Morgan will try to act like she's not going to, and then try to get that little split-second head start, because that's the only way she ever beats Kick.
Okay.
That's fair.
So, as we pan out of the scene of the two of you running along the beach like Apollo and Rocky,
oh my god! I want you just the silhouette. I can't escape it.
No, sorry. We see the silhouette of a figure standing on a ridge, looking down at the beach area, and we see a woman dressed in the sort of the purplish frocks of the Twilight Choir. Her hands just kind of folded across her belly, just looking down and watching the two of you, and especially focusing on Morgan as you just kind of run back and forth and you talk and all that kind of such. Let's check in with Snaggletooth. So Snaggletooth, what are you up to today?
I think he's going to take some time this morning to show some special attention to Attic, Taffy, and Cutter. Because he invited them to his home, convinced them to help his neighbor, and then kind of bailed. So he's like, I just want you to know I'm so sorry that I wasn't here for you last night. And I didn't cook you a good, proper home-cooked meal last night. And I'm glad you got to meet my family. I'm going to cook you up best I got available this morning. And I'll wash your clothes. I'll show you where it's a good spring to get washed up. And I just want you to know how appreciated you are and what good people you are to have helped Miss Delilah like you did. I really want you to know how much I'm glad you was here to help with that. And thank you so much for everything you've done. And just wants to kind of show them some special attention after, because he feels like he was a bad host.
Okay.
Plus there's his family just swarming over everything. And that's maybe a little...
Yeah. You don't get the sense that they were particularly offended. I think you had earned enough goodwill that they don't really feel offended. But when you start talking to them and you sit down and Like Taffy is like kind of feeding Vern like a dead bug or two here and there that he kind of picked up from the area around the farm, because remember there are all those like dead bugs and such that were on the ground, and he's like feeding everyone to his little pet lizard. He says,
Well, we were talking, and we were thinking that since you don't appear to have much much in the way of crops to work, that we might continue on. In fact, not sure that it's really much for us to do around here.
I appreciate it. Now, here's the thing I was going to ask you to do. I'm going to hope you'd be willing to let me pack some bags up with some food for you to take along the way. Probably more than you could eat right away, and I'd just ask, if I give you some extra to carry with you, if you run across somebody else on the road who's having a hard time, just, share it with them.
Yeah, sure.
he looks over towards like Attic, and she just sort of nods, like,
Sure, if we run into someone else, we'll invite them to tea or something. Give them a bite. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Man, what a splendid coincidence I get to meet you. I hope I get to see you again sometime. But I understand. I thought I'd be able to offer you more. Things have taken a turn, but that's okay. New day will come around, and when things are better, we'll have ourselves a right celebration back here sometime.
Well, I suppose I'll be honest with you, Snaggletooth, because you've been a better host than most that we know, but we're not really going to be staying around here much longer at all. Not sure if you've gotten the feeling this place seems a bit off these days. Between what went down in Gravel Bay, this demon or whatever it is you said you saw in the mines, and whatever that thing was that you said you saw at night, I think it's time we, see what's over those mountains to the west a bit.
All right, well, you show me your packs. I'm going to start loading you up. And just for what it's worth, there were some folks that came by the city, some sort of Twilight folks, and they talk nice, but they just kind of, I don't know. You ever had somebody like, and now this is funny for me to say it and all, but like somebody who talks friendly, but they say they're looking for heretics, and it just gives me a bad feeling. So I'd say, normally I'd love to invite you to Eastvig, but I'd say don't go that way right now.
Well, thank you for the heads up there, Snaggletooth. I think we'll still steer clear of the town. We don't really want to get Twilight Choir.
And he looks over, and you notice like Attic, the woman who is clearly like the brains of this little trio. And she's, even this morning, you see her like sipping on this nice looking chalice, far nicer than the three of them have any right to have. She like, there's like almost like a spit take when you mention the Twilight Choir, and she looks up at him, and there's a bit of concern on her face, and he doesn't really let on too much, but he kind of just continues on, and he says, "All right then, Mr. Snaggletooth, it's well, here's our packs. Don't give us too much. You've got plenty of family here, and for your mother is
yeah.
Good luck."
I know.
Goodness.
Well, I'm glad you get to meet him.
It certainly puts some things in perspective, that's for sure.
Oh, Mr. Cutter, I'm real sorry to say I did find one of your knives tossed out into a fence post, but I made sure to bring it back. I don't know how they got a hold of it, but...
And he looks up at you, and he's like, takes it back.
You've got some sneaky folk amongst your party, don't you think?
Well,
I didn't realise y'all could be so sneaky.
I don't know if it's entirely on purpose. It's just a strong curiosity of some of my kin.
Well, You know what they said about the cat who was curious?
He found something good?
No. He got his throat cut.
And he grins and he's like missing half his teeth.
Huh. I don't think I'll be looking up the rest of that story, but I appreciate you sharing it nonetheless.
And then he just like reaches up, he takes a knife.
He wasn't threatening your cousins. That's why
No.
he doesn't talk much.
Are you kidding
He
me?
puts
I
out
wouldn't
the
think
wrong
so at
impression.
all. Oh, I had a thought I meant to share the other day. So, I was thinking myself, here's Taffy, right? Because you always had the fun jokes, and you made the day sweeter by walking with you. And Cutter's got
Mhm.
them sharp eyes that pierce through everything. He's the best lookout possible. And Attic, well, her head's like an attic just full of all sorts of bright ideas I can see behind her eyes. And that's how I'm going to remember y'all.
That's real good there,
Yeah.
Snaggletooth. About remembering us, if any folks from Gravel Bay come over here, it might be best for both you and the rest of us for you not to be remembering us too much, if you understand my meaning.
Okay.
He looks back to Attic. He looks at Cutter. They all kind of exchange a look like not sure if you understand is me.
Okay, well, I guess that's about it then.
Yep. Well, again, thank you so much. And I really do. I insist on overpacking your package just a little bit. And I really ask you, genuinely, if you see somebody else on a hard time, you share just a bit.
Uh-huh. I got it. Yep. Not a problem. Sure. Okay, and, listen, you can come with us if you want. We were talking about it. We could use a friendly folk like you.
Well, bless your heart. That is real kind. But I got my family here. And, well, my family is, like you said, a lot. But they are family.
Mr. Snaggletooth. And you hear like Attic speak up.
I appreciate the hospitality that you've extended to us recently, and while your family is quite overwhelming and overbearing, they are good-hearted, and a good heart is not something that we have seen very often of late. So I shall return the favor to you as best I can. Steer clear of that choir. Steer very far. Give them a wide berth. And what Taffy says is true. If you wish to leave, well, you can come with us now. We are not originally from here. Did we tell you this?
No, but I will say, ma'am, I don't want to make any aspersions. You seem kind of fancy.
Well, Gravel Bay and the constable there did everything they could to hammer that fanciness out of me. But the three of us had the misfortune of running into some naval trouble when we were out on, we were running. Let's just put it that way. The last town that we were in to the south, far beyond your region here, they did not appreciate our patronage as much as you have. And we ran aground here in Gravel Bay, but I can tell you the stories we've heard of the choir itself, that they arrive in a place and they are all smiles and friendliness, but when they leave that place, it is not left in better condition, if it's left at all. I would encourage you to, well, what is it you folksy people say? Make hay while the sun shines or something?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to use that.
Okay. Well,
I
I've
hope
had
we
enough
do
of
meet
this
again.
conversation. Yes, sure. Yes, I'm feeling we won't. But thank you very much, very much.
And they all like Thank you. And then we fade out of that scene. Let's see, who haven't we checked in on? So I think Lloyd, you were doing the candle making. I think Morgan, you and Kick had your scene. So Kick, would you want to continue working on your crafting over here?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that happens is, in addition to there being like more boats on the water, there's definitely more people in the town. As not only are there dozens of folks now getting kind of ferried off of the ship, because this is the first real ship any of you have truly seen. You've seen boats. This thing's an enormous thing. And you can see like people get ferried off, and there's like extra dozens of folk in here. And more than that, like there's people coming in from the various farms in connected places. When word starts to funnel around that there's a ship that's showed up, there's visitors, so people are starting to flock here. So it's getting busier and busier, which means that you're having some trouble dealing with distractions. Like even on the outskirts of town, people are kind of coming up to you, and you're every now and then you kind of look over your shoulder, and like you see like a pair of those monks and nuns kind of walking past. They don't seem to be interacting with you or paying attention to you, but they're near enough. And then other folks come by, and like little kids, like, "What you doing? What you making? What's going on over here? What you doing? What you making? What you doing? What you making?"
Something new. It's
so you're getting
new.
a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
Something new?
You can't see it.
Like a new. What is it? Like a new toy? Like
How
a new
old
tool?
is this child?
Like a new
Whose
shovel?
child is this?
I'm 47.
Oh, this is an old lady.
I'm a man, thank you.
Well, you can pull it off well. So, what do you mean? Why are you so curious? Where's your? All right, whose parent is this? What child needs to pick up their parent?
My parents have been dead for 25 years.
That's why I'm looking for your child. I'm saying whose parent? I'm pointing at you and saying whose parent is that?
Never quite found the right lady. No one could, didn't really want to get tied down, wanted to always keep my options open, play the field, that sort of thing. They call me a bit of a, a Casanova back in my day.
Would you know what
I know what it means.
You know what I heard is that the tavern's giving free drinks at noon today. Did you hear that?
What?
You got about
Free drinks?
10 minutes before it hits noon, too.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a second. Are you making a pass at me? You want to go get drinks with me?
I know. I'm going to stay here. I got work to do.
No, you don't. What are you even doing over here? What's this all about? What's that sharp thing over there?
Intimidating
That
scowl.
almost looks like a sword.
Intimidating scowl to chase this person away.
Okay. So
I'm just going to start glaring at everybody that comes within like a 5-foot proximity of me until they
What's
go
that
away.
long-bladed weapon you're making over there?
okay. So give me a roll to give me a roll to continue your work under this distraction. Now, two things. You're gonna have you're essentially gonna have -1 because of what's happening with this guy. But if you purchased from your previous role the idea of being focused, and so you can kind of tap into that a little bit too if you want as well. So keep all that in mind.
So yeah, I will. The 2 power points I would have spent on the focus tag. Obviously, blacksmithing my own forge again. I would like to include intimidating scowl in this as well this time.
Considering what I set up, yes, I think that would be
Considering what
Yeah.
you set up. And then I will continue to take specialized weapon as a weakness. I keep forgetting to add experience on that one. And
Sure.
Just strong as an ox is a generalized one too. Because I need it because I'm rolling like crap today.
I like a strong woman.
Oh no,
Sorry.
no.
I'm gonna have too much fun with them.
Focus. Oh, I forgot the plus one. Anyway, it's 11 actually,
Snake eyes.
with 3
Oh.
power.
Yay!
Oh, that would have been hilarious. It was Snake Eyes. Okay, so at that point,
All right. No reason to be rude over here. You make your little pointy toys and all. I'll shuffle on over. But
when the day's over and you're kind of thirsty.
Just blocked him out already, and he doesn't get any sort of response. He like waits there for 5 minutes and just like she doesn't even look over.
All right, well, I'll just leave you to it. You look nice and busy. Good talk. Bye.
Okay. And he just turns around and starts moving along.
When they invent headphones in this world, it will be so good for me.
Okay, so we'll say like maybe you get like a handle hilt kind of thing developed from this. So just if everybody wants to know what I'm doing, effectively it's a series of challenges along the way that you kind of have to overcome, and then each of that kind of progresses like the process itself in some fashion. So there we go. Okay. All right. Excellent. Morgan, was there anything you were up to today?
Yeah, so she was telling the truth to Kick earlier, that she wants to sort of go out on the boat that she borrows and see if she can kind of like get a closer look at these folks' ship that they've got, the comings and goings of the people and whatnot. So that is what she wanted to do today.
Okay. Okay. You head over to wherever it is you've got your boat docked along the docks of the town. And you see that the docks themselves have kind of been overtaken to some degree by a lot of these. You can see there's these long, kind of fancy like dinghies that have come out from the ship here and there. And you can see that there are people from the ship, the Twilight Choir, who have been stationed here. And they kind of see you like untying your boat, and they kind of eye you a bit. And they say, "Excuse me, madam. I was wondering if I might ask you a question."
Well, yes, and she's got like her. If I can have sort of unburned these, like she kind of got back her like rope and scaling knife and like all of that kind of stuff. So she is like kind of got her hands full of, because there's someone's boat that she borrows to go fishing, and so she's got all of her gear on her. Oi, what was that?
What's this here? And he points over to like the post coming up out of the water that has like all the different twine and such that are wrapped around it, like that's used to kind of mark people who leave, and then they kind of unwrap it when they return, and then some stuff has never been unwrapped because those people haven't ever returned, including Aiden's. What is this here?
It's a bit of bookkeeping, as it were. We kind of use this to make the markings of folks that head out on the voyages. So you go out and we know kind of who went out and who we're kind of keeping an eye to the horizon for. And when you come back, we take it off because, you've landed back safely and everything is fine. So if you've got a wrap that is still here, then it means, unfortunately, that you sailed off and have not returned. Yet, I say, people will make that mistake that it means that someone is gone, but I just say it's a yet. They haven't come back yet, even if it's been a month or years. It's just a yet.
Oh, it's very interesting. It's very good to keep those who have wandered astray still in our thoughts, in our hearts. It's very commendable. Are you very familiar with these waters?
Oh, you can say that. That would be a very yes. I've gotten a sense from you, and because this is obviously one of the like nun and monk folk with this kind of retinue. Got the sense from you all that you don't take things like braggardly speech kindly. So I don't want to pump myself up too much, but I would say of anyone here, I probably know the most of coastal things.
Well, excellent then, and you're the perfect person for us to speak to about this matter. We have heard that there are some sea caves of particular interest I was wondering if there's anything you might know about them, or where we might be able to find them.
And I imagine, Melissa question, the answer to this is 100% that Morgan knows where these sea caves are.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something weird happened to Snaggletooth in it. Like, he had a weird experiences. I'm not sure the full details of it, but you kind of had some sort of weird experience in it, yeah.
I mean, if I were to give you the top 5 things to see when you're in Isfig, I'm not sure I would have put those on the list, but yeah, no.
They're in town. Oh, I was led to believe they were away from town a bit.
I just mean, we're kind of small. There's a lot of area around that sort of encompasses. I mean, it's not like down the street, as it were, but I mean, it's close enough. I mean, what you want with something like that? Like, that you were...
I heard a rumor that the caves themselves were not entirely natural, or that someone or something might have carved them out of the stone itself. We're very curious. You see, we're not just an order of theologians, monks, and nuns, but we're scholars, explorers, in fact. Very interested in all manner of curious landmarks, and especially those that might indicate a particularly rich and colorful history in the land. We've already heard a few stories about some interesting henge to the north. We've already sent a few folk to reconnoiter, but we're curious here. Caves. Very interesting. Made by somebody, in fact. Oh, how wonderful.
I mean, weren't all
so you could,
caves in some
you
way
could
made
lead us there, then.
by the water, and well, I mean...
well, there are many caves, I'm sure, but these are a very particular set of caves, are they not? I'm sure you could take us there, couldn't you? Being
well, I certainly
the
wouldn't...
foremost knowledgeable person of these parts of the coast itself. Yes?
Well, I wouldn't want you to go off by yourselves, not knowing
Mr.
the area
Denver
particularly
would
well.
be most grateful if this is something that you would be willing to do, of course. Many things that we want to investigate around here. We've never been to this part of the world before. It seems as though there are quite a number of treasures for us to go poking our nose about in.
So which was your ETA on this? Because, see, I was about to go out and make sure we had some fish, because this is what we serve in our tavern, and make sure that not I get the fish and make sure that we can all eat at night. So that's what I was about to go do. Is this a tomorrow kind of a trip that you're thinking about, or...
Oh, I don't think fishing is probably a good idea for today. I know that you and your kind are not particularly familiar with what happens in the area around ships such as ours, but we're probably the activity around here scaring away the game a bit. I've also heard stories from your fellow fishmongers that fish haven't been biting well of late. Unless it's been different for you, of course, being the expert.
What does your ship do that it scares all the fish away? And that's a right mean thing to have the sea life be moving away from you like that.
Oh, not very familiar with... Well, Miss Morgan, it has been an interesting conversation. I'll be sure to let Oren Denvar know that you were unavailable for a task.
Well, I mean, if you're
interested to know,
if you're saying that the fish aren't going to be biting, then I suppose that would be better use of my time to take you out.
Off with you, I suppose. Oh, now you wish to. Oh, how wonderful. Well, if that's the case, then we are ready to go now, aren't we? Aren't we, dear?
And he turns over, and the woman's like, oh, yes, we are.
Just the two of you.
Is there a problem with taking the two of us?
No, I was just assessing the size of the boat. Are we taking one of your boats, or are we taking my friend's?
Oh, this isn't even your boat. You don't even have your own. How very interesting.
No, my Aiden sailed off with my boat. It's been 2 years now, and I'm sure he'll be back soon, but unfortunately that is where my boat has been.
He's been gone for 2 years, and you think he's going to return? Such
Well,
faith.
of course, the girl's got to have hope.
That's not untrue. Well, we could take your boat if you wish, yes. Be most interested.
And Morgan looks at the quality of their boat versus the quality, because I imagine the boat she takes out is a shit boat. So, like, if their boat looks nicer, she would... Like, no, yours looks... wouldn't mind taking that out for a spin.
Oh, if that's the case, then I suppose we could make that arrangement. And he kind of like reaches into and under his collar and he pulls out this little necklace and he blows on this little whistle. You can't really hear anything. And then like moments later, you just hear dush, 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 dush. And you see like the singer coming down from where the town was. For safety, of course, never know what strange creatures might lie in the caves. Or what treacherous locals.
You know, I'm thinking we should probably get a rich picnic basket of food if we're going to be going out for the day. I'll just make a quick run up to the tavern and make sure that we've got some food for the day. It doesn't look like you're quite ready for that. I will be just 2 shakes of a lamb still. I'll be right back.
Of course, we'll be waiting here for you, Miss Morgan.
And she
And
wants...
we'll fade from there as you rush off.
Yeah, so she wants to like head off to the tavern and like leave a note to like see if she can find like one of the kids or something to like get word to the rest of the group.
Of them around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, it'll take a while. No cell phones or anything, so it'll take a while. But yeah, they can send out some messages and such.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll cut to Lloyd working all day in the candle shop. Sometime in the middle of the afternoon or maybe like middle of the day, we hear the bell ring and in walks a few of these folk that just came ashore, including the man himself, Mr. Oren Denvar, who comes in.
Welcome. Come on in. Got plenty of candles to look at.
Yes. Mr. Grover, yes. It is a pleasure to see you again. I was curious about your operation here. We have many needs. We have many resources we need to restock. We're told that the Grover family seems to make the best candles this side of the Einavon.
Just take a look at the candles. They burn and brighter and longer than any other.
How very interesting. Tell me, Mr. Grover, may I call you Lloyd?
Yes, of course. You can call me Lloyd.
Wonderful, Lloyd. What is it that you and your family know about candle making that others do not?
Well, my uncle here is the best candle maker I know. He's been doing it for centuries now.
And he limps in.
Centuries, Lloyd? I'm sorry, he's not a bright boy. He's, his parents dropped him on his head regularly just to, smooth out the lumps or something. He's,
He kind of turns and he sees your uncle, and the two of them like shake and introduce themselves.
But the boy is not wrong. We do have a wonderful history. The Grovers have long been candle makers here in Isfig. However, the incident with First Fall has left our stocks somewhat depleted. So,
So they kind of go back and forth and such. Is there anything like you would be doing, Lloyd? Like, because there's a few things I know that you've heard about your parents, you've heard about your uncle. Now you've got this guy in the room asking about candles. Like how's Lloyd feeling at this moment?
Did he bring in the golem? The singer?
No,
Is
the
that around
golem's not
too?
here.
Okay.
You don't see the golem. No.
Yeah, I'll be pretty much just blending in normally at first. Like I'm just a candlemaker. He's here to buy candles.
Okay. Just going back to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you just kind of go back to work, you just hear the men, like the two older men talking, and like maybe you overhear like one or two things like, oh, so what really did occur to his family? You know, his parents, and like you hear your uncle like kind of speak up. They were accosted during an expedition into the woods to recover some supplies we needed. It was it was a tragedy, but I promised his father and his mother that I would look after the boy, and you've done a wonderful job there. And so like they're kind of going back and forth. In the woods, you say? Yes, in the woods. But whereabouts was that? And like you hear your uncle is just saying things like, I wasn't with him at the time. I was manning the shop. I don't know the precise location. You don't need to be too precise. Is there any sort of landmark or... You know, he's like really kind of pressing for a particular location, and your uncle just continues to sort of be elusive about it. I know it was west of Aberlin, a ways, not quite to the beings in the old forest. Beg your pardon, the beings.
I've got spilled a cauldron in here. Could you help me, Uncle?
Do you actually knock over a cauldron?
Yeah, I'll knock over some wax and supplies.
What good that boy?
Blasted. He goes to start moving and like rushing over, and there's like wax just kind of spilling all over the place. And you hear the sounds of Oren Denvar saying,
We'll leave you to it. I'd very much like to talk again, however, about these beings in the old forest. I was just tales, we're busy right now, and and he kind of backs out, and you hear the ring of the bell once more, and the door closes at this point. And your uncle just looks up at you, you daft fool. What do you... Come on now. Oh, goodness. You haven't made a mistake like this since you were... what has gotten into you?
I was rushing a bit. I wanted to impress the man. I was working too fast.
Impress him, a stranger? Oh, I see how it is. I guess your uncle just isn't good enough just to get the quality work from you. I put a roof over your head. I put food in your belly. And what thanks do I get? I get a broken leg, and I get an embarrassment in front of two customers. And you know, Lloyd, you're a good boy, but you're a lousy candlemaker. Go off. Leave me. I'll figure this out somehow. Go.
I'll hurry up.
So we see like Lloyd like stand up and kind of look back and then push through the door. The door bell, the bell rings over the door, and you just hear him kind of mumbling to himself as the door is starting to close. And like, it's not just himself that he's mumbling to, but you hear like your parents' names pop up as well. It's like, I've been trying my best, but I sure do wish the two of you will come back soon. And then the door closes. And then we'll go ahead and we'll end for the night there, and we'll pick up somewhere around there on our return next week, and we'll see what's up.
Oh my gosh, it's already been 2 hours.
What do you mean?
Ooh.
I know.
What do you mean about lousy candlemaker?
I mean, I don't want to tell you how to play your character, but
I just had to look at your tags to remember how good a candlemaker you were.
Look at this. I'm an apprentice candlemaker. Anyhow. All right, that's it for
Yay.
us. Let's get on out of here. So yeah, little weirdness going down, and we'll see how this goes on, and go from there. Let's do some plugs. What do we got going on? Tomorrow night, nothing, because tomorrow night is Halloween, so we're taking the night off. We're having fun, so I hope you all are having some spooky fun somewhere. Then Saturday this week, we're playing Huckleberry. So we got this is our dear friend Steven's amazing Western horror game. You can find it currently right up on BackerKit right now. If you're watching this live stream, it's up until, I want to say, let me get the date. I think it's up to the 4th. So you've got a handful of days left to back still. So you can pop over to BackerKit. You can support it. It's a wonderful game. We've been playing it on Saturdays. We've played it before on the channel. And if you want to get your nice shiny copy of it and all sorts of fancy little gadgets and gizmos and dice and things like that, now's the time to do it as the BackerKit. It's already funded, so you're really just getting in on a winning ship already. So come and do it. Then Monday, I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We might do some more We're in Danger. Tuesday, what do we got going on, Kipster?
Oh, we got some cyberpunk, rebellious artists, millennial teens, well, not teens, sorry, young adults, really, who are causing chaos around a space station in generally, and trying to figure out what these newfangled robots do.
Yeah, yeah. I love this robot storyline. I'm very fascinated with them. The designs of them are terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely been getting long /
You made a new robotics
Coolio's
friend
attention.
too, so you can totally just like geek out about the robots now.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And we've learned who really does pay attention. I'm just going to keep pointing that out.
I was excited.
Somebody pays attention.
You figured out the
other people don't.
Over 3 robot.
Attention. No attention. Just saying, if you're watching this, you see which direction my fingers are pointing. Just saying. Okay, and that's it. And we'll be back next Thursday with more of this. Yeah, we'll see y'all later. Enjoy your Halloween. Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.